Hey there, welcome to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening. We're going to plant some long beans today, and we're going to talk about how to overlap your seasons. Right here I've got my tomatoes growing, and wow, these Edox tomatoes just keep on producing. I need to prune them up and move them down a bit and get them all tidied up because they seem to be still setting fruit even though we're in the high 90s. We've got a week though of mild weather in terms of temperature, and it's going to rain all week. That's a perfect time to intercrop some seeds in here so that when I take my tomatoes out, my long beans will be already growing. I do have to take some of these plants out now. These Edox I'm going to leave here, but some of the other varieties, they're near the end of their production cycle, and some of them are even dying off. So we're going to take those out, and that'll free up some space. Lots and lots of weeds in here today, so we'll pull some of that. I got some nut sedge coming up in the middle. After a rain like this, it's a little bit easier to clean out your weeds because the roots just come up from that loose soil. But this guy has to go, and so does this guy. These are my Black Beauty tomatoes, and I've got some fruits on here, but the birds have got them all. I can salvage that one. The rest of these, I don't like this variety. My taste test, it's so-so. When they get to be about that red on the bottom, they're pretty good, but they're better than anything you're going to get in the store. But still, these have to go. It's time for them to come out. You can see with the summer and the rain we've been having, there's all kinds of weeds everywhere. And that's okay, because what we'll do is when we transition to fall, we'll come and flame weed this and knock back a lot of this stuff. And in the fall, I don't have as much weed pressure. But this Bermuda grass, I got to get that out of there. And this nut sedge, I don't like the nut sedge. Got to get that out of there too. There's a weed right in the ant bed. Wonderful. This has to go. You gotta find the root down there and pull it out. Yeah. And this nut sedge, yeah, sometimes they don't want to come up. Loads of summer weeds in here. That's the problem with overlapping crops, is although we are, wow, look at that network of nut sedge. You see how that sends runners out and sends up another weed? Yeah, that's why it's so profuse. That little white tip right there, that's shooting out to send up another weed. This is the challenge though of overlapping your crops, is not only can you start your seeds in the same spot where you just had something growing or around a plant like that, but you're not going to be able to knock down these weeds with flame weeding, which is what I like to do. You have to hand weed. Well, it's just hard to stay on top of all this stuff in the summertime when it's so hot. Look at that, we got Bermuda grass, we got this guy, I don't know what it is, but these things send down a taproot and they're firmly rooted in there. Yeah, lots of weeds, especially in the holes of my borders. That's all right, just keep it knocked down a bit. Everything does okay. All right, so this is the idea of dropping your plants and sliding them down on the hangers here. There's a good 5 feet of vine before you get to the actual foliage, and this is how you can keep your vines growing and producing for a long time. It's the drop and shift method. I'll put a video link up there in the corner for you if you're interested. And we're growing these nice little Edox tomatoes, and it's a good producer, heavy producer. I'm just going to be watching these flowers here at the ends though. I've got some small fruits here and some small fruits here. And once the temperatures get to a certain point, these little flowers, they no longer pollinate, and it's just time to take your plants out. So that's why we're going to double crop here. We're going to put in some seeds now in this bed and get them going for the summer. I'm going to begin simply by scraping away some of the mulch to expose the soil. And then I'm just gonna loosen up a little bit of soil here. Got some big old earthworms up close to the surface. And I'm gonna take my seeds and just drop a few in. And these will germinate in the next couple of days, maybe a week. If I can get them open, I'll drop them in. Just tore that one all up. All right, these are yard long beans. These are the purple kind, and I'm gonna put a couple of seeds right here. Generally, you plant these seeds twice as deep as they are long. And now those beans are planted. And I'll just go along here in between my tomato plants and drop in some seeds. These will get going so that when I take my tomato plants out, yeah, they'll be nice and tall and ready for summer. Gotta remember, I have my water, my drip sprinkler system in here, so I gotta work around that a little bit. But that's easy enough to do. That's the end of the line right there. And I can use that to water these summer crops as well. These beans generally do well in the heat, these long beans, and so that's why I'm planting them here. All right, let's get some out of this mangled package here. And while we're at it, always kind of weed as you go. Boy, I hate this morning glory. That stuff seeds itself so easily, and it gets up in your plants and strangles everything. It's a pretty plant, and I used to just let them grow, but yeah, when they come up like that, take them out. All right, seeds, let's get some in. I'm not even going to water these in because we're going to have rain all day today and most of this week, and so these seeds will germinate with no problems at all. You'll notice I leave the stumps of my tomatoes in the ground there, and I do that because they're going to compost in place. That root system down there will compost in place. No need to pull it all up. If you don't need to do the work, why do it? It's beneficial to put these beans in an area that has high organic matter, and those roots down there will contribute to that. All right, we've got some more seeds along here, and we've got some more weeds to pull. This nutsedge, man, drives me crazy. The other benefit of leaving your stumps behind is you don't have to till up the soil, and you don't have to disturb everything in here. You can just plant directly in the ground, and you know, you really can't do that if you're going to do a total bed refresh. You can't overlap your crops so much because you're going to be pulling these things out and loosening up the soil and all that. But if you just leave that there, well, you can plant right next to it and overlap your crops that way. So I leave those stumps in there. And I've got some Bermuda grass growing up all in here. I'll have to flame that out of there. And right here beside me, I have a nice little fire ant hill. That's no fun either. All right, we're gonna put some beans in here though. Again, just move your mulch away, expose some bare soil. Look out for the ants, they're all over the place. And I'm gonna drop some beans in. Yeah, this is a pretty good sized fire ant mound. Plant right into it, so I'm not gonna stick my fingers down in there. But I'll use my trowel here and just cover that over. And those beans will come up just fine. Well, there we have it. We've layered our seasons. The idea is the end of spring and the beginning of summer in our gardening region, zone 9A on the Texas coast, they overlap. They overlap a lot. And so we're taking advantage of that overlap. We're germinating summer seeds while our spring tomatoes are still growing and producing. As soon as those come out, well, our beans will already be up. And we can use the same structure and the same string to trellis our beans if we want to. These long beans are trellising types, they're climbing types, and we hope to get a good crop. So that's how easy it is. Hope you've enjoyed this short little video. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook. You can send us pictures and ask questions there. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I hope that you will feel like we give quality information, and well, we're so appreciative of your subscription. Hey, happy gardening to you. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.